overnight. I think that I did ruin this.
Even though I know I want one of these lamps to be as much of a dupe of the Anthropologie lamp as I can possibly manage, I think it would be really cool to copy the style of the Anthropologie lamp, but have my own twist on the other one. So here we have it. The second lamp is now carved.
In 3, 2, 1.
It is a chilly, rainy summer day here in Germany and the perfect day to practice some pottery that is far outside my comfort zone. I found this lamp from Anthropologie that I really, really love. And I'm going to see if I can try to dupe it here at home. And just to make it a little bit harder, I think I might try to throw another kind of lamp too. I've never made a lamp before, I've never thrown this big before, and it's going to be a real challenge. I have been watching a bunch of master classes on YouTube, and one of the common themes I've come across is trained ceramicists saying that Westerners use way too much water, that they make their wheel go way too fast. Today I'm really going to try to focus on using more slip and less water and making my wheel go a little slower and trying to just feel how the clay moves in my hands. I guess I didn't secure the bat down enough, and the bat started moving while I was centering. And so now it's not really staying on center because the bat isn't adhering to the wheel enough. I think what I'm going to do is try to reattach the bat and then cone up again one more time and recenter it, but I'm tiring out the clay, which is not very good for it. I definitely learned my lessons. Make sure your bats are really well attached. I think for larger pots I would just use more grams of clay to attach it to the bottom. My hands keep getting so dry.
Stay wet, my love.
We've got a bulbous belly, and then it tapers in for the tiny little lampshade stand. So let's see if we can do that. I'm using my wooden rib for the shaping. And we can trim the bottom here quite a bit, and that'll give more of the belly look we're looking for. And now we will let it dry overnight and check on it tomorrow. Oh, it's heavy. I am going to throw it a second time just so that I can be sure that we have no cracks. And I might even try out some different designs on this one so that not both of them are dupes. And hopefully this one goes a little bit better than the first one. Ta-da! Oh my gosh, it's so surprising how heavy it is every time. A few weeks ago, I watched this potter make a set of 3 lamps on her own YouTube page, and one of the lamps intrigued me so much and feels like such a crazy challenge for me. Basically, she made a huge pot and then she rubbed the middle until her hands met at the center of the pot, and then she cut it out so that there was a hole in the middle of her lamp. And ever since I saw her video, I was like, yes, I must try to make one of these. I actually weighed out 3 kilograms for this one, so we're breaking records again. This is the biggest pot I've ever made, so let's ruin it. Okay, I'm gonna just do it. I'm just going to massage her little belly until she meets in the center. And I guess we'll see if she lives. Oh my gosh.
I don't know if this was tall enough. And now there is a hole in the center. But the problem is that I made the top too wide, I think. And I think I should have kept a narrower top. So I think that I did ruin this.
It's still kind of cool, but I don't know if I really need just a sculptural piece. I really want it to be a lamp. I guess take two.
I am going to cut out the bottom tomorrow to make it dry faster and more evenly, and also so that it's easier to install the electrical. But that looks pretty good.
Even though I know I want one of these lamps to be as much of a dupe of the Anthropologie lamp as I can possibly manage, I think it would be really cool to kind of copy the style of the Anthropologie lamp but have my own twist on the other one. I came out to my favorite place in the forest and drew a little bit of a sketch of one of my favorite families that live in the area, and that is the family of minks. Ellie and I found 2 baby mink kits alongside the river. They were around 3 weeks old when we found them. We haven't seen them since because we've been purposely giving them privacy. But I thought it'd be really cool on my version of the Anthropologie lamp to replace the bobcats with this little family and also use native plants from Germany on the rest of the pot. Here is my little rough sketch. I definitely need to troubleshoot a few spots here. The minks look a little bit weird. I'll have to work with that. And I'm also going to do the German national flower, which is the cornflower, I think in English. It's called Centaurea in Latin. And I'm going to put that on the top. I have a baby down here and we have a bunch of trees and foliage, and I think that the color palette is going to be a little bit darker than the one from Anthropologie, which I think would work really well in our house. Alright, so the biggest thing with this trim job is to try to get it more symmetric. This is gonna be so scary. What do we think? I feel like that looks pretty freaking good. Oh wow. The other one took so long to get centered and I got this one on the first try. Okay, the real and terrifying thing is how the heck I'm going to trim this guy. Originally I thought maybe I wouldn't, but I do just really think that it would benefit from some nice sculpting down here. So we're gonna try to find a bucket. It's definitely moving around in there. You're fine, baby pot, you're fine. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so thick. Did I even cut through all the way? She lived so far anyway, but I definitely did mess up her sides a little. I have a little bit of news to share. This week I am officially launching my first ever website and blog. It showcases all of the milestones I've been making with ceramics, why the channel has evolved so quickly to that particular niche, and I'm just really excited to see how it evolves as I do. I couldn't have done it without the help of Squarespace, who is once again kindly sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to help you build your online presence. So whether you want to share your work, start a blog like I am, or maybe even start your own store, Squarespace gives you all the tools you need to do it in one place. I used their new design intelligence feature when I was building my website, and it just made it so intuitive for me. I didn't have to sit there brainstorming fonts and layouts for hours. Squarespace basically read my mind and helped me to design a website that really feels authentic to me. It's polished, mobile optimized, and didn't make me feel like I wanted to throw my laptop out the window when I was building my website. For those of you starting an online store, Squarespace Payments keeps it super streamlined. It only takes a few clicks to set it up, and Squarespace accepts Apple Pay, Klarna, and all the major options, making checkout faster and easier for customers and fulfillment faster and easier for the businesses. You can even print shipping labels right from your dashboard, which, as someone who has sent out many fine art prints in the past, that just makes it so much easier than having to drive to the post office every single time you want to send something out. The commerce tools are also amazing, with product galleries, reviews, add-ons, and related items. All of it is designed to actually help you sell your products and not just look good. So if you're interested in starting a website of your own or turning your creative work into something bigger, you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial. Then when you're ready to publish, you can get 10% off when you go to squarespace.com/MaddieTaylor. Alright, you guys, it is a pretty stormy and rainy day outside, so I decided I'm going to do our next step here in my office. I've spent a fair bit of time trying to do a flattened version of the Anthropologie lamp. I even used my desktop monitor to trace a little bit, which helped a lot and made the process a lot faster. These have been sitting under plastic drying, but they are drying really, really fast. It's been a few days, so today is definitely kind of the borderline too late to carve, but I think we should be able to make it work, and let's just get right to it. It is also a little wobbly, so we will definitely have to fix that when we're cutting the holes for the electrical. Or maybe we can put pads on the bottom. We'll just see what works best. So here we have it. The second lamp is now carved. I know that I said I was gonna do rabbits here in the bottom, but I decided to end up carving our own ducks onto this. Here we have Peanut and Audie and Draco. I actually already had a stencil of these three, so it was really easy to just transfer them right over. And I'm just so excited about this one specifically. I'm excited about all three of the lamps, but there's something about this one that I'm just really excited by. It looks like our Anthropologie lamp is actually going to be pretty straightforward. There's only like 4 or 5 different colors used. I only have approximate underglaze colors. I don't know if we're going to be able to do exact matches, but I do think I'll at least be able to mix a little bit to create some of these intermediary pinks here. And hopefully otherwise it'll be pretty straightforward. It took me over 3 hours to paint this, and I had direct instructions essentially, and so I'm very curious on how long this other lamp is going to take me, especially since I think I want to do some more gradient colors and even sgraffito on this one. So I think I'm going to be here in this office for another 5 hours. Well, my friends, we did not finish this last night. I worked on it for around 3 hours and then had dinner and went to bed. So it's time to finish this morning and pop them all in the kiln. Ta-da! Is that not looking almost identical to the Anthropologie lamp? I went back and I did some touch-ups, so that's why some of these colors are lighter than they will be, just because it seemed like after I got out of the bisque there were just a few spots that were a little translucent. And then I went and I put a wax resist over this entire thing, so all we have left to do is glaze it and put it back in the kiln. Since we are trying to get this lamp to look as close to the Anthropologie lamp as we can, I'm going to go with a white glaze. I don't have a regular white one, but I do have this really beautiful opal white that is supposed to look kind of glistening, kind of like a shell. In certain lights you can see all the pastels come out. And so I have applied 2 coats of opal vice, and now I am going back through with a very lightly damp sponge, and I am taking off all the glaze from our little creatures. Even though the glaze that I'm using is slightly translucent, I don't want our creatures to be hidden behind it, especially with how much work went into painting these on. When I was looking closer at the Anthropologie lamp, I realized it's actually not embossed at all. They only used wax resist, or I don't know how these were even created. I can't find the artist for the design to give credit to. I've tried. But I do kind of like that ours is embossed, and I'm even thinking about adding some gold luster in the end to make it my own. I've decided to leave my design as bisqueware, so I'm not going to show you guys until the final reveal. I am so in love with how it's looking. If this lamp turns out well with the glaze, I probably will end up doing the same background to our other lamp, but I just want this one to be the test subject because I love how the other one is looking so much. I'm so excited to show you guys for the final reveal. I have a feeling I'm going to be going at this for a while longer, so I'm just going to finish up wiping all of this glaze away, and then we'll go in for the final firing. Once I was done wiping away all the glaze, I went in with my finger and just loosely went over some of the areas that seemed imperfect, especially areas where the glaze had bubbled up a little bit. I've been working with purely brushable glazes, but I recently picked up a speckled glaze in an 8-liter bucket. It was pretty expensive. It was like 150 euros for this bucket, but I think it's going to be the only one I use for now because I love this speckled glaze and I think that I can use it for a bunch of different pots, including this guy right here. The other lights are so busy and colorful that it'll be nice to have something that's a little more neutral and earthy and minimalistic, which I do think that Ellie and I kind of gravitate between the two a lot.
All right, you guys, in they go. After like 2 weeks of work, and I don't even know how many hours, are you guys ready to see our Anthropologie dupe? In 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Here is our completed and glazed lamp. Full disclosure, yesterday I had a power outage happen and my kiln turned off at around 600 or 7 degrees. I actually am not sure. And so we have a little bit of some glaze issues. If you look up close, you can see that the underglaze has some weird bubbles. Both of the bunny rabbits suffered quite a bit. But overall, when you look at this lamp, is this not pretty much exactly the lamp from Anthropologie? We didn't have the exact same lampshade situation, but that is okay. And as someone who has only just begun making pottery such a huge part of my life, I feel so happy that we were able to accomplish this. I definitely think I have more to learn when it comes to underglazing and waxing and glazing properly, but I am so happy with how this turned out, and it is now going to accompany me in the studio whenever I'm out there. And now for lamp number 2. This lampshade is a little bit small for this, but overall, how cool is this? I'm so stoked with how this turned out. Something kind of weird happened with this one in the kiln as well. Some of the little stilts that I put it on melted, so I think that the stilts were not rated for a 1250 glaze firing, but I was able to chip them off pretty easily. I also did get this weird cracking here at the back. I don't really know why or what happened with that. And I didn't actually mention this, but while this was drying, I guess it dried a little bit too fast and I had a crack happen in this seam here. And I did my very best to coat it and cover it and do that all properly. But it did come back with the glaze fire, but I actually really don't mind. It's a lamp made at the beginning of my pottery journey, and so having a little crack shows the cracks and the gaps in my own technique, and I just think it's really cool. I love that this one is so subtle and minimalistic compared to our very busy embossed printed lamp, and it's just so cool to have something so different. And for the third lamp, my personal favorite of the 3, our mink family. You guys, I am so stoked with how this lamp turned out. I feel like every single way that you rotate it, there's something different to look at. And so I just feel like no matter which way it sat and no matter what aspect you're looking at it from, it's just beautiful and fun and colorful. I think this would actually look really good in like a children's bedroom, but it is going into my office and I'm so excited about this. I'm very happy that I decided to leave it as bisque because I did spend so much time with the color shading and making that underglaze look so good, and I really wouldn't want the glaze fire to mess it up, especially since my knowledge there is the worst of anything so far. And I actually just think it looks really nice. I had this lamp base that I took from another lamp that we have in the house, but it was actually a little bit too small to fit this lamp. So we took some random plywood and cut a little washer for the top and bottom. And I think that looks so good. So that is it for my very first lamps. I think that it went so well for my first go at it. Now I just want to turn everything into a lamp. And actually, hypothetically, you could do this at home with a vase that you already have on hand. All you have to do is go purchase a lamp kit online, and it's actually very straightforward and easy. You can even get those LED light bulbs so that you don't have to buy the full intense electric if you're not really feeling that friendly with that.
But I'm curious, what was your favorite of the 3 lamps that I made? And also, if you guys have any suggestions for what I should try next in the pottery world, I am up to any and all challenges, so just send them my way. I am just so excited to see where we go next. As always, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so grateful for this really outstandingly lovely community, and I will see you guys in the next video. I should have definitely done this a while ago. There's a butterfly flying by and I thought it was a biker and I got so nervous. Not me hiding behind this privacy screen anytime someone comes by. Being on video around anyone 4 years later on YouTube is still not my favorite. Shoot, now I almost like it like this, you guys. In 3, 2, 1. Maybe I should turn it off. That is bright. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What the heck? That's awkward. People, I don't like when they look at me.